ladies and gentlemen, it all begins with the smallest of actions, the kind that make the headlines, the kind that at first may seem unimportant. Yet these little actions, these tiny habits are the foundation of everything we want to build in our lives. It's not the big, flashy moments that truly shape us. It's the quiet consistency of doing small things that add up over time. Consistency over perfection is the key to making lasting progress in our lives. We live in a world that constantly pushes us to be perfect, to have everything figured out, and to show our best selves. But the truth is, perfection doesn't exist. It's an illusion, a moving target. What actually matters, what leads to growth and transformation, is the ability to show up day after day, even when you don't feel like it. You don't need to have everything perfectly planned out before you start. In fact, the more you wait for perfection, the more you're likely to stall. The key to achieving anything is to start where you are with what you have and keep moving forward, no matter how small those steps may seem. It's easy to get caught in the trap of feeling like if something isn't perfect, it's not worth doing. We compare ourselves to others and think, I'm not ready, or I need to improve before I can start. But real growth happens when you begin, when you embrace imperfection, and when you keep going, even when things aren't ideal. Consistency is the true measure of progress, not how flawless or perfect the process is. When you make consistency a habit, it becomes part of your identity. You stop measuring your success based on how perfect you are, and instead you celebrate the fact that you're sticking with it. Every day you show up, no matter how messy or imperfect it seems, you're building the foundation for something bigger, and over time those little imperfect actions compound and lead to extraordinary results. The truth is, perfection will never be the standard, but consistency, the courage to keep going even when you stumble, the strength to push through when things don't look perfect, that is what leads to real success. The power of mindset is one of the most profound forces in shaping our lives. Yet it's something that many of us overlook. Our mindset isn't just a passive state of mind. It actively drives our behaviors, shapes our experiences, and influences the way we approach challenges. Whether we realize it or not, our mindset determines how far we go in life. And it all starts with one simple question. Do we have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? A fixed mindset believes that our abilities, intelligence, and talents are static, that we're born with a set of skills that we can't change. People with a fixed mindset often avoid challenges because they fear failure or embarrassment. They tend to believe that if they don't succeed at something immediately, it's a reflection of their inherent inadequacy. This mindset keeps them stuck, unable to reach their full potential because they avoid discomfort and resist growth. On the other hand, a growth mindset sees challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. Those who adopt this mindset understand that intelligence and talent can be developed through effort, perseverance, and learning from mistakes. They embrace failure as a natural part of the journey, something to be learned from, not something to be feared. Instead of seeing setbacks as a sign of personal limitation, they view them as valuable lessons that bring them closer to success. The beauty of a growth mindset is that it opens up the possibility for endless improvement. It fosters resilience. When you face adversity or failure, instead of feeling defeated, you ask yourself, what can I learn from this? You understand that each obstacle is just a stepping stone to something greater, something better. It allows you to step outside your comfort zone, take risks, and trust that every small effort contributes to the bigger picture. Changing your mindset isn't about pretending things are perfect or ignoring the difficulties you face. It's about how you approach those difficulties. When you have a growth mindset, you stop seeing problems as roadblocks and start seeing them as puzzles to solve. You stop focusing on what you can't do and start focusing on what you can do. You begin to realize that no situation, no failure, no setback has the power to define you unless you let it. One of the most powerful aspects of a growth mindset is that it empowers you to take responsibility for your own growth. You stop waiting for circumstances to change, for people to validate you, or for life to give you permission to move forward. You realize that the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the belief that you can improve. And that belief drives you to take action, to keep going, even when it seems like progress is slow. When you adopt a growth mindset, you stop seeing life as a series of random events. You begin to see it as a series of choices that you control. You realize that your thoughts and actions can shape your destiny. It's not about being perfect or always getting it right. It's about constantly striving to be better, to learn, to improve, and to evolve. Our mindset influences everything. It affects how we handle relationships, career, challenges, health, and personal development. The moment we shift our mindset from one of limitation to one of growth, we unlock our potential. Suddenly the world becomes full of opportunities, and the obstacles we face become part of the adventure. And as we continue to cultivate a growth mindset, we realize that success is not a destination but a journey. One where every step, no matter how small, brings us closer to becoming the best version of ourselves. The ripple effect is one of the most profound and often underestimated forces in our lives. It's the idea that the small actions we take today, no matter how seemingly insignificant, can create a wave of change that extends far beyond what we can see in the moment. Just as a pebble thrown into a pond creates ripples that travel outward, every choice we make, every habit we form, and every decision we act upon has the potential to affect not just ourselves, but the world around us in ways we might never fully understand. One of the most important things to grasp about the ripple effect is that it doesn't require monumental actions or life-altering decisions. Often the smallest actions we take are the ones that set off the most significant changes. A simple gesture like offering a kind word to someone having a rough day can transform their mood, which may inspire them to spread kindness to someone else. You may never see the full scope of how your actions impact others, but rest assured that your choices are creating waves. This ripple effect is not just about spreading positivity. Every action, whether positive or negative, can set off a chain reaction. For example, when we choose to neglect our health or procrastinate on important tasks, the consequences of those actions extend far beyond us. Our health begins to decline, our productivity wanes, and our confidence takes a hit. This in turn affects our relationships, our work, and our overall outlook on life. We often don't see how a small decision today can snowball into something larger and more impactful over time. What makes the ripple effect so powerful is that it often operates outside our immediate awareness. The impact of our decisions is not always felt immediately, which can lead us to underestimate how much influence we really have. However, even the smallest habit can begin to ripple through various aspects of our lives. For example, adopting the habit of reading for just 10 minutes a day can lead to a greater thirst for knowledge, better decision-making skills, and enhanced creativity. This, in turn, may improve your professional life, your personal relationships, and your ability to handle challenges. The ripple effect also connects to the idea of momentum. Once you begin to make small, positive changes, those changes start to influence the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you interact with the world. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. Small, consistent actions build upon each other and start to create something much bigger than the initial effort. When you commit to one small change, such as waking up earlier, it not only increases your productivity for the day, but also boosts your confidence and helps you feel more in control of your life. This positive momentum builds on itself, gradually improving other areas of your life as well. In the same way, negativity also builds momentum. A bad habit, when left unchecked, can start small but grow into a larger problem that begins to affect your entire life. However, recognizing that every action has the potential to create this ripple effect gives you the power to change the course of your life. By understanding that even small decisions matter, you begin to take ownership of your choices and become more intentional about the habits you create. At its core, the ripple effect is about recognizing our interconnectedness. The energy we put out into the world, whether positive or negative, reaches far beyond what we can see. Our choices influence the people around us, whether it's a colleague at work, a friend in need, or even a stranger we interact with briefly. When you begin to realize the potential of your daily choices, it shifts how you live your life. You begin to act with intention, knowing that even your smallest actions matter and have the power to shape not just your life, but the lives of those around you. Building momentum is one of the most powerful tools for achieving success, yet it's often misunderstood or underestimated. When we think about success, we often focus on the big moments, the milestones we reach, or the grand victories we achieve. However, the true magic lies in the smaller, more consistent actions we take every day. Momentum, once built, can carry us further than we ever thought possible. It's the gradual accumulation of effort that leads to exponential progress, and it starts with taking that first small step. Momentum is like a force of nature. It has a compounding effect. Think of it like a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, the snowball is small, and it doesn't seem like much, but as it continues to roll, it picks up more snow, becoming larger and more powerful as it builds speed. In the same way, when you commit to building momentum in any area of your life, whether it's fitness, learning a new skill, or working on a project, you start small and slowly, through consistent effort, you begin to gain speed. As you make progress, the effort required becomes easier and success becomes inevitable. Building momentum begins with setting small, manageable goals. When we set goals that are too big or unrealistic, it's easy to become overwhelmed and give up before we even get started. Small, achievable goals allow us to take action without fear of failure. These small victories accumulate over time, providing the confidence and drive to take on larger tasks. By focusing on one thing at a time and breaking it down into smaller, more achievable steps, we create a clear path forward. The key is to start, even if it's just a little bit, and commit to it daily. Once you start to make progress, the momentum begins to build. It's important to recognize that the first few steps are always the hardest. In the beginning, it's easy to get discouraged because the results aren't immediate. But that's where persistence comes in. The more you show up, the more your effort compounds. This is where the power of consistency comes into play. By doing something, no matter how small, every single day, you start to create a rhythm that keeps you moving forward. The idea is not to go for perfection, but to keep pushing forward, even when the results aren't as dramatic as you want them to be. As your momentum builds, it begins to fuel your motivation. You'll notice that the more you work toward your goal, the more energy you have to keep going. You start to feel the excitement and the drive to push further. What started as a small, seemingly insignificant task turns into something that feels unstoppable. Momentum makes it easier to maintain focus and clarity because your progress is visible, and it becomes harder to stop when you've made a habit of showing up. It's a snowball effect that leads to greater productivity, improved skills, and better results. Momentum also works as a psychological boost. Once you experience the thrill of small victories and see the cumulative results of your effort, you begin to trust the process. You develop a sense of confidence in your ability to follow through. This mental shift is essential for sustaining long-term success. When things get tough, you don't see setbacks as roadblocks, but as part of the journey. You know that momentum is something you can always tap into, and with it, you'll keep moving forward, one step at a time. What's important to remember is that momentum doesn't happen overnight. It takes patience and commitment to stay consistent and to trust the process. Building momentum is like planting a seed. It takes time for the roots to grow and the plant to sprout, but once it does, the growth is unstoppable. As you continue to nurture your efforts, you'll realize that the momentum you've built will propel you forward to heights you never imagined were possible. Personal responsibility is the cornerstone of success, growth, and fulfillment. It's the concept that we as individuals are accountable for our actions, decisions, and the outcomes that follow. While it's easy to blame external factors for where we are in life, taking responsibility means recognizing that we have control over our choices and ultimately our destiny. It is the foundation upon which we build self-discipline, resilience, and the ability to make lasting change in our lives. Taking personal responsibility starts with an honest assessment of where we are. It means acknowledging that the choices we've made have brought us to the current moment, whether we're where we want to be or not. We cannot change the past, but we can certainly control what we do moving forward. The first step in taking responsibility is to stop deflecting blame. It's easy to point fingers at circumstances, other people, or even our upbringing as reasons for where we find ourselves. But when we take responsibility for our actions, we empower ourselves to change. Instead of looking for reasons or excuses for why things didn't go as planned, we start asking ourselves, what can I do right now to change my situation? When we take responsibility for our actions, we stop seeing ourselves as victims of life circumstances. Instead, we take ownership of our choices. This shift in mindset is incredibly powerful because it puts us in the driver's seat of our own lives. It's easy to feel like life is happening to us, that we're just reacting to the world around us. But personal responsibility means that we stop waiting for someone to fix things for us, and instead we recognize that the power to change is within us. It's not about being perfect, it's about being accountable and doing the best we can with the resources we have. Personal responsibility also requires the willingness to be honest with ourselves. It means taking an unflinching look at our habits, our decisions, and how we show up in the world. Are we consistently doing what we need to do? Or are we procrastinating, making excuses, or letting distractions get in the way? Acknowledging our flaws and areas of weakness is part of the process of taking responsibility. It's not about self-criticism, but about self-awareness. Only when we see where we are falling short can we make the necessary adjustments to improve. This sense of accountability extends to our goals and dreams. Too often we wait for the perfect moment or for external validation to take action. But personal responsibility teaches us that the time to act is now. If we want to achieve something, it's up to us to make it happen. We must create the plans, take the steps, and hold ourselves accountable for the progress we make. No one else can do it for us. The road to success is paved by personal responsibility, which means setting clear intentions, making commitments, and then showing up to follow through. Moreover, personal responsibility is not just about our actions. It's also about our attitude. Life will inevitably present challenges, setbacks, and obstacles. However, taking responsibility means that we stop blaming the situation or others for our difficulties. Instead, we choose to face challenges with resilience, understanding that how we respond is within our control. It's easy to get frustrated and give up when things aren't going our way. But those who take responsibility for their own lives are those who keep pushing forward, no matter the circumstances. At its core, personal responsibility is about empowerment. It's about realizing that you have the power to change, grow, and shape your future through your actions. The moment you take full responsibility for your life, you stop being a passive participant and become an active creator of your own success. Your future is in your hands. And the decisions you make today will shape the person you become tomorrow. Focusing on what you can control is one of the most effective strategies for overcoming challenges and creating positive change in your life. Life is full of uncertainties, and it's easy to become overwhelmed by all the things that are beyond our control. Whether it's external circumstances, other people's actions, or the unpredictable nature of the world, there's always something that we can't influence. However, the key to achieving peace of mind and success lies in understanding that while we can't control everything, we always have control over certain aspects of our lives. Specifically, our responses, our mindset, and our actions. The first step in focusing on what you can control is to accept that not everything is within your grasp. It's easy to get frustrated when we try to control things that are beyond us. We might find ourselves worrying about the future, stressing over what others think of us, or obsessing over situations we can't change. But when we shift our energy toward what is within our control, we stop wasting time and mental energy on things that don't matter and start focusing on the things that truly make a difference. One of the most important things we can control is our mindset. Our thoughts and attitudes shape how we experience the world. We might not be able to control the actions of others or the events that occur around us, but we can control how we choose to respond to them. When we choose to approach life with a positive attitude, resilience, and an open mind, we gain the ability to navigate difficulties more effectively. Instead of feeling defeated by setbacks or challenges, we begin to see them as opportunities for growth and learning. The way we choose to perceive the world and interpret events can completely change our experience. Our actions are another area where we have full control. While we can't control everything that happens in our environment, we have complete control over how we act and what steps we take. Whether it's making a decision about how we spend our time, choosing how we respond to a problem, or determining the effort we put into achieving our goals, these are all areas where we hold the power. Focusing on our actions helps us to stay grounded in what we can influence, rather than becoming consumed by things that lie outside of our control. When we put our energy into positive actions, we begin to see results that contribute to our overall success and well-being. Another key area we can control is our habits. Habits are the foundation of our daily lives, and they have a profound impact on our overall success. Whether it's the habit of exercising, eating well, getting enough sleep, or prioritizing our tasks, the small choices we make every day shape our future. By focusing on the habits that align with our goals and values, we start to create positive momentum. The key here is consistency. The more we focus on cultivating productive and healthy habits, the more control we gain over our long-term outcomes. Even if we can't control everything in life, we can always control the habits that influence our path. It's also important to recognize that we have control over our relationships. While we can't control how others behave, we do have control over how we interact with them. We can choose to set boundaries, communicate openly, and maintain respect. By focusing on building positive and supportive relationships, we not only improve our social well-being, but also increase our sense of agency. Strong relationships can act as a source of support when we face challenges, and by nurturing them, we create an environment in which we thrive. Finally, focusing on what you can control involves letting go of the need for perfection. Perfectionism often leads to frustration because we try to control every detail, often making ourselves miserable in the process. Instead, by focusing on the things we can change and accepting the things we can't, we allow ourselves to make progress without being bogged down by unrealistic expectations. It's about accepting the imperfections and finding peace in the things that are within our power to influence. By choosing to focus on what you can control, you empower yourself to take charge of your life. The outside world may be unpredictable, but when you focus on your mindset, your actions, your habits, and your relationships, you take ownership of your journey and create a life that aligns with your goals and values. This shift in perspective helps you to not only cope with life's uncertainties, but to thrive amidst them.